All right, so what is this? Episode 4 of the Turkey Run 5 Mile Challenge? I think that's about right. Anyway, we are heading to the Camel's Back on this one. We just left the Punch Bowl on our way to the Camel's Back, so let's get going. So before we get going too far, we should all be warned that there may be some adult topics or adult photos taken for this episode. Not on purpose. I don't drop the trash. I don't make the circumstance. I just pick stuff up. So if you're of a sensitive nature, you are now warned. Otherwise, we are on Trail 10, just left Trail 3. If you were with us for the Punch Bowl, then this is like 5 minutes after the Punch Bowl. This is January 1st, I believe it is still. So it's been pretty cold leading up to this. I don't know if you caught what that was, but all I can think is there was a couple enjoying some bedroom time, we'll say, on the trail in the middle of winter. I have no idea what they were thinking of. I got uncomfortable just thinking about it, being out here in the middle of the woods. Today is probably in the 30s. It's been colder leading up to this. So keep your indoor stuff indoor, not in the middle of the trail. I just can't imagine how comfortable that was. But anyway, we're on Trail 10. Um, we're out of most of the canyons. This is pretty much woodland. It's a nice woodland trail. This is obviously a deciduous forest. I don't see any evergreens in here. I am not a tree guy, but I know the difference between an evergreen and deciduous tree. Most of this looks like it's oaks and then something with kind of a sharp shield shaped leaf. I'm going to say it's like a hickory. I am totally making that up. I'll throw a picture in there to show the leaf because I think I have one. Um, but it's nice. It's mostly flat trail. There's not a whole lot of, I'm going to say, people on this trail, so a lot of times there's not a whole lot of trash. Of course, always keep your head on a swivel because you just see stuff. And this cracked me up. So, as you can see, maybe there we go. I got an energy drink can, right? And so along with this, with the last piece of trash that we found on this video, it so much reminds me of a short story I started to write a number of years ago. Um, so much so that I brought it back out and started on it again. And so I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but holy cats, there was a lot. I go through a lot of stuff in my head while I'm hiking these trails. So, so yeah, we're still just nice level. Here's some steps. We do go down into a valley, and I'm fairly certain I step in a puddle. I don't know why I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm still moving slow, but this isn't too bad. I have slipped on these wooden steps before when it's damp. They get kind of mossy. So either if it's damp out or if it's cold out, sometimes you get ice on them, sometimes you get moss on them, and they're very, very slippery. There we go. Found something under. I don't even know how I saw that. It must not be that cold because I'm not wearing gloves. So, but found that bottle. But yeah, I've slipped on these steps before, and anymore, I try and keep a hand on the rail because I have saved myself from probably severe harm by catching myself in my armpit on these rails. But but we'll keep going. All right, so we continue down the steps, down into the valley, and not gonna lie, I had no idea what my trees were that these leaves were a part of, it other than the oak tree. I do know an oak tree, and sometimes I even know a maple tree. But I went upstairs and asked my wife, and she said she thought it was an American beech. And then I went and used my plant identification app, and I wasn't checking up on her, but maybe I was. And it agreed that it's an American beech. So the two leaves that I know I can see in there are the American beech and the oak tree. So hopefully that helps. And as usual, I stepped in a deep puddle right there. I think this was the day I was wearing my actual hiking boots, so my feet didn't get soaking wet. This is one of the steep ups if we're going this way. Lots of roots to help you get through there, but even though most of it's a smooth trail, it's not all smooth. I don't have a whole lot to say about this, but we're gonna keep on going down this one until we arrive at a crossroad for Trail 10. So I'm just gonna hush it for a few because I got nothing to say for a little while. So here we are coming up to the thick trunk of Trail 10. Um, this is a nice wide one, and there's a reason it's wide is because the I was going to say National Park Service, the state park people use this road to take their trucks or whatever down because there's the only actual dumpster on this side of the river is down the opposite of the way we're going. And as we follow this, and we're speeding up a little there, we're gonna come up to Trail 12. And I don't know if I just looked at an old map previously, but I never saw Trail 12 on there. I have since gone ahead and hiked Trail 12, and it is obviously just kind of like a road for them to take their ATVs or whatever between different parts of the trails. I did pick up some trash there because everyone's a little trashy sometimes. Anyway, this is winter time, so everything's kind of died back. Um, in the summer, this place is rife with poison ivy. So just keep that in mind. Poison ivy in Indiana. Indiana, I believe, is an Indian word that means the land of poison ivy. Oh, I hope that's not racist. Wasn't meant to be, but it's horrible. So we're coming up to the Camel's Back, and you just saw the sign. That's typically where I would stop and take my picture for the 5 mile challenge. And there's a little overlook, and we're going to go, well, look over and see, well, nothing. And I found this picture online. Obviously, it is like a postcard or something. I could not find any actual pictures of what the Camel's Back looked like before it was all grown over. Evidently, it's one of those forgotten things that no one has posted anything about. But supposedly there's a formation out there that looks like the back of a camel laying down or something, but you just can't see it any longer. I'd say it's disappointing, but I've never seen the actual thing, so I don't know if it's really disappointing or not. But we're on our way back now, and typically I would have cut this off because we've already walked this way, but on the way out I saw some bits of trash, so why not include them since I was recording anyway. This stuff is so full of viney stuff and stickers that it can be a challenge. I get a little stuck getting in there, and thankfully most people are too lazy to heave their trash where it's hard to get. Um, they just drop it or throw it in a couple feet, but I got this can, and then we'll move on because there was some right opposite where we came out of that branch of Trail 10 we'd been following since the beginning. And this one was so much worse. Those viney things, there were a lot of stickers. Did I draw blood? I don't remember. I don't think so. But I got stuck, I remember that. And when I come into these places, I typically try and remember to drop my bag, because if I don't, then it gets torn from all the stickers and stuff. And so yeah, here we go. And you can sort of see it. It's nice that this is in the winter, because in the summer, well, A, I don't typically go off the trail in the summer, but B, it's so full of spider webs. And if you've listened to anything I've had to say before, you know that I absolutely despise the spider webs. So this is another reason why I can get a little further off the trails in the winter time. But even so, this was a challenge. I remember this day. Like I said, I think this was New Year's Day. So I am so late right now in getting this all together, but that's okay. Was that Corona bottle? Usually if there's I see Corona bottles, a lot of like what is the Ultra? I don't remember. The Ultra cans, every once in a while a Bud can. Modelo cans, a lot of. So I don't know if that says anything about the people that drop their trash. Trying not to make that judgment based on what they drink. But there you go. I think this is just about the end of this one. And here you go. This is from just a couple weeks ago. As always, lots of single-use plastic bottles, some cans. I think I saw a plate in there. I found someone took their dinner on a plate and then heaved it over the side of the trail or something. I don't know what people are doing. Anyway, I think I'm going to go a little out of order for next time, and we're going to do the 140 steps, just because I just hiked that last week, so it's fresh in my mind. So I hope you come along with me on that one, and I'll catch you later. Thanks. Goodbye.